There was once a young samurai named Takeshi who stood at the gates of his lord's castle, moments away from his first real battle. Around him, experienced warriors sat in perfect stillness, eyes closed, breathing deeply. The air was thick with the scent of burning incense and the weight of what was about to unfold. Takeshi's hands trembled as he gripped his sword. His mind raced with 1,000 thoughts. What if I fail? What if I freeze? What if this is the day I die? His senior warrior, noticing the young man's panic, placed a firm hand on his shoulder and said, "Sit. Close your eyes. Find your center before you find your enemy." That practice, that moment of complete stillness before chaos, was called Mokuso, and it became the difference between warriors who panicked and those who performed with absolute clarity. Today, you may not face battles with swords, but you face battles nonetheless. The high-stakes presentation where your career hangs in the balance, the difficult conversation that could end a relationship or save it, the job interview that determines your future, the medical diagnosis you're about to receive. These are your battlefields, and like the samurai before you, you need a way to center yourself before stepping into the storm. This is why understanding Mokuso is not just interesting, it's essential for anyone who wants to perform at their highest level when pressure is at its peak. Mokuso literally translates to silent meditation or gazing inward toward the heart, but these words barely capture what this practice truly represents. For the samurai, Mokuso was not a relaxation technique. It was not about feeling calm or peaceful. It was a deliberate process of mental preparation that created an unshakable state of readiness. Imagine standing before a life or death duel, knowing that in moments you would face an opponent who wanted to kill you. Your body would naturally flood with adrenaline. Your thoughts would scatter like leaves in a storm. Your breathing would become shallow and rapid. In this state, even the most skilled warrior becomes vulnerable because the mind cannot think clearly when it is overwhelmed by fear and mental chaos. This is exactly what Mokuso was designed to prevent. The practice involved sitting in seiza, the traditional kneeling position with legs folded beneath the body. The spine was held perfectly straight, not rigid, but naturally aligned. The hands rested lightly on the thighs or formed what is called the cosmic mudra, with the left hand resting on the right, palms facing upward, and thumbs lightly touching to form a circle. This posture was not random. When the body is properly aligned, energy can flow freely without obstruction. The straight spine keeps you alert rather than drowsy. The open posture prevents the collapse that comes with fear and creates a physical foundation for mental clarity. But the real work of Mokuso happened in the breath and in the mind. The warrior would close their eyes or leave them slightly open with a soft downward gaze and begin to breathe deeply into the hara, the center of energy located just below the navel. This is not the shallow chest breathing most people do unconsciously. This is deep abdominal breathing where the belly expands on the inhale and contracts on the exhale. With each breath, the warrior was not trying to relax or empty their mind. They were doing something far more powerful. They were acknowledging every fear, every doubt, every distraction, and then consciously choosing to set it aside. Not suppressing it, not denying it, but observing it like clouds passing across the sky and choosing not to follow where it leads. What made Mokuso different from ordinary meditation was its specific purpose. The samurai was not seeking enlightenment or inner peace. They were preparing to act with complete clarity despite extreme circumstances. They were creating what modern psychology now calls a flow state, where action happens without the interference of overthinking. The samurai understood something that modern neuroscience is only now confirming. When we are stressed or anxious, the thinking part of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, becomes less effective. Blood flow shifts to more primitive survival centers. Our ability to make complex decisions, to see multiple options, to respond creatively rather than react automatically, all of this diminishes when we are in a state of panic. Mokuso interrupts this pattern. By deliberately slowing the breath and focusing attention inward, the warrior was essentially resetting their nervous system. They were telling their body that despite the approaching danger, they were in control. This created a state of alert calmness, where awareness was heightened but panic was absent. Consider how this applies to your modern battles. You're sitting in your car before walking into that crucial meeting. Your mind is racing with all the ways things could go wrong. Your body is tense, your breathing is shallow, you're already defeated before you even begin. But what if instead you took 3 minutes to practice Mokuso? To sit upright, to breathe deeply, to acknowledge each fear without letting it control you, and to consciously choose to enter that room centered and clear. The difference would not be small. It would be the difference between reactive panic and responsive clarity, between being controlled by circumstances and maintaining your center despite them. The samurai also practice something within Mokuso that we can call mental rehearsal or visualization. Before battle, they would vividly imagine the encounter ahead, not with anxiety about what might go wrong, but with clear seeing of possibilities and their response to each. They would see themselves moving with precision, responding to attacks with calm efficiency, maintaining their awareness throughout. This was not positive thinking or wishful fantasy. This was practical preparation. By mentally walking through scenarios before they happened, the samurai created neural pathways that made effective responses more automatic when the real moment arrived. Modern athletes do exactly this before competitions. Surgeons visualize procedures before entering the operating room. Musicians mentally practice performances before stepping on stage. This is not New Age thinking. This is ancient warrior wisdom validated by contemporary neuroscience. Now, let's bring this directly into your life with a practical approach you can use immediately. When you know you're about to face a high-pressure situation, whether it's in 30 minutes or 30 seconds, you can practice a simplified version of Mokuso. First, find your posture. Even if you cannot sit in formal seiza, sit or stand with your spine straight. Feel your feet firmly connected to the ground. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. This physical alignment immediately shifts your internal state because your body and mind are not separate systems. They influence each other constantly. Second, bring your attention to your breath. Begin breathing slowly and deeply into your lower abdomen. Count 4 beats on the inhale, hold for 2, exhale for 6, hold empty for 2. This 4-2-6-2 pattern activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body responsible for calm alertness. Do this for at least 5 full cycles. You will feel the shift. Third, acknowledge what you're feeling without judgment. I notice I am nervous. I notice my mind is creating worst-case scenarios. I notice tension in my shoulders. Simply naming what you observe creates distance between you and those sensations. You are not your anxiety. You are the awareness observing anxiety. This distinction is everything. Fourth, set a clear intention. Not "I hope this goes well," but something specific and actionable. I will listen completely before responding. I will maintain my center regardless of what happens. I will bring my full presence to this moment. The samurai did not hope for victory. They committed to specific behaviors they could control. You must do the same. Finally, visualize yourself moving through the situation with clarity and purpose. See yourself speaking with calm confidence. See yourself handling difficult moments without losing your center. See yourself afterwards, knowing you showed up fully regardless of the outcome. This entire process takes 3 to 5 minutes. That's all, but those minutes can transform your performance because they shift you from a state of reactive panic to purposeful presence. Let me share something critical that the samurai understood deeply. Mokuso does not guarantee you will win. It does not remove the danger or difficulty of what you face. What it does is ensure that you face it with the full capacity of your mind and body, rather than as a diminished version of yourself, crippled by panic and scattered thinking. A centered warrior might still lose the battle, but they will never lose to themselves. They will never be defeated by their own fear before the fight even begins. This is what we miss in modern culture. We think pressure situations should feel comfortable. We think if we're nervous, something is wrong with us. But the samurai knew better. They knew fear is natural. Mental noise is natural. What matters is not eliminating these things, but maintaining your center despite them. Mokuso trains this capacity. The more you practice it, not just before high-pressure moments, but as a daily discipline, the more accessible this state becomes when you need it most. You're essentially building a neural pathway that your brain can travel quickly when circumstances demand it. The beautiful truth is this: you already have everything you need to practice Mokuso. You don't need special equipment or years of training. You need only the willingness to pause, to breathe, to center yourself before stepping into difficulty. Every samurai, no matter how skilled, still practiced Mokuso before battle. Not because they were weak, but because they understood that mental preparation is not optional for peak performance. It is fundamental. The warrior who skips this step carries all their mental chaos into combat with them. The warrior who practices Mokuso leaves that chaos behind and brings only clarity forward. So the next time you face your modern battlefield, remember Takeshi at the castle gates. Remember that the difference between panic and performance is often just a few minutes of intentional centering. Find your posture, control your breath, acknowledge what's present, set your intention, visualize your action. Then step forward, not as someone hoping to survive, but as someone who has already won the only battle that truly matters, the battle against your own scattered mind. This is Mokuso. This is the pre-battle centering technique that has served warriors for centuries and will serve you today. Not because it makes challenges easier, but because it ensures you bring your best self to meet them. And if you found this wisdom useful, write in the comments, "I will center myself before every battle." Thank you for watching.